In this video, I'm going to go over the output data tool that you can find on the In/Out tab. As you can see, we have some sample data here, and eventually with most workflows, you will want to write this data to some location. So we can go ahead and drag this down to the canvas, and we can use this button to set up a connection. I personally like to uncheck that and copy paste in the location that I want to send the file to. And I will type this out. You'll notice in this instance I've typed .csv, and when I click the canvas and back on the tool, it does auto see that, and we have 8 different configuration options. Let's say I want to use YXDB. I can change the extension here, click off and back on, and we'll see that now there's different options for YXDB. This is the full list of options that are available. And the 3 that I use the most, with the least used one, is XLSX. The reason why I would use this one is if I have to create a file that maybe has some formatting or it has multiple tabs, I would use XLSX. If I wanted to write a file that I want to open up in Excel but doesn't need any of that special formatting, I would save it as CSV. And if I wanted to write a file that I'm never going to open in CSV, but maybe I'm logging some data from every job that I run, and I'll eventually want to read it back in Alteryx, this is when I would save it as a YXDB. The benefit of YXDB is the same amount of data will take up less storage on your computer, and Alteryx will read it a little bit faster since this is the native file type. In this instance, I'm going to go over the CSV options, and I'll change this to CSV. First option here is max records per file. Let's say you don't want to write all of these to one file. You can set a limit. For example, if I wanted 2 records per file and I hit run, you'll notice that I've written 3 files. The first one will have the file name that I typed out, and every subsequent one will have _1, _2, and so on and so forth. The next option is file format, which we already reviewed. Delimiter. In this case, I'm writing with the delimiter of a comma. You are able to change this if you want to use a pipe, tab delimited, and so forth, so on and so forth. Row contains field names. If you do not want to write your data with these field names, you can uncheck this box, and it will simply write the rows of data. Quote output fields. I typically leave this on auto. However, if your data requires it, you can either always include it or never include it. And finally, these last 3, these are somewhat invisible when you're looking at a file, but code page helps you when you're writing in different languages. Line ending style helps you when you know that different kinds of machines are going to be reading your data. And write BOM has to do with the encryption type of the file. I always leave these 3 as is without changing them. Finally, down here, you are able to write your data dynamically. So for example, if I check this box, you can write multiple files based on some of the values in your data. You can append that value as a suffix, as a prefix. You could even change the file name or change the entire path. My most common use case is to append the suffix. For example, if I wanted to split up my data based on gender, and I could keep this field in the output or not. In this case, I will. And if I write this, let me add an underscore here, which is my classic go-to, and I hit run, we can see that I wrote 1 record to the sample data female and 5 records to the sample data male. So we've effectively split up our data based on gender in this instance. In this video, I went over the different types of file formats, the various options, and how to make your file name dynamic and therefore write different sets of your data. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.